So, anxiety. One hell of an emotion, huh? Inside Out 2 released this past weekend in 2024 and is directed by Kelsey Mann, who is making his feature-length directorial debut with this movie. And this film is starring the voices of Amy Poehler, Maya Hawke, Kensington Tullman, Liza Laperia, Tony Hale, Lewis Black, Phyllis Smith, and Ayo Edebiri. Riley is now a 13-year-old girl, and she has a small group of friends who she's closer with more than family. And during the summer, she goes away to a 3-day hockey camp where she learns that her friends are going to be moving away for the next semester, so Riley is starting to feel all alone and scared for her first adventure to high school. So at hockey camp, she really tries to fit in and impress all of the high school hockey players. But what Riley doesn't know is that she is experiencing new emotions inside of her brain, the biggest one being the new emotion of anxiety that is trying to calculate all of the possible outcomes of every decision that she makes so that she is ultimately prepared. And because anxiety is taking over Riley's brain, the original emotions that we experience in the first Inside Out film, joy, anger, disgust, sadness, and then fearfulness. That's the other one. I always forget fearfulness. But they get ousted. They get ousted out of the command center and they have to find their way back. Now, I liked the first Inside Out film. I remember when it came out, everyone was talking about how intelligent it was and how amazing it was, and it's one of the best Pixar films out there. And I disagreed with that. I thought it was a fine film, and it's a nice introductory film for a young kid who is understanding the concept of emotions and what they are. But me being an adult in my 30s, I know that the emotion center is much more complex than what they showed in that first Inside Out film. So my hope was that for the sequel, and hopefully they get more sequels after this, they start introducing more emotions and more complex ideas that your brain can concoct. And that's exactly what they do here. Not only do they introduce new emotions like anxiety and envy and embarrassment, but they also introduce the idea of beliefs. So you don't just have these emotional friendship islands and family island and playtime island. Your brain is starting to generate beliefs in yourself and in the world. And at first, Riley experiences that. She believes that she is a good person and that she is trustworthy and that she's a good friend. But then as those friendships start waning and she finds out that her friends are going to be moving away and that she'll never see them again, and now she's going to be all alone going into high school. She has no big popular friends that are going to help her and welcome her into the new school. That's when anxiety starts taking over and she starts calculating all of the decisions that she could possibly make to better her standing amongst the high school community. Oh, how fun high school was. Me recollecting and being nostalgic, which was also actually another emotion that was kind of introduced. Nostalgia came in and they were like, no, we don't pull you out until she's like 30. No, go away. Great little bit, because that's really all that I have now. But when anxiety takes over and ousts all the original emotions out of the command center, anxiety starts trying to change Riley in what her mind is for the better. So while anxiety can have positivity, which I do appreciate that this film showed, like, anxiety is not terrible. The intentions are great. Just a lot of times with anxiety, it gets out of control and you start forgetting the original person that you were and the joys that you had without worrying about what other people were thinking about with you. Basically, if I would have known all of this stuff that happens in this movie back when I was in high school or like just entering high school, feel like I would have been a much happier person. My high school days were okay. I was really like the class clown. I was trying to impress everyone, kind of like what Riley was doing in this movie. And if I knew what I know now, I would go back in time and I would tell my younger self, dude, just relax and experience joy and just enjoy the moment. And it's heartbreaking and almost cringeworthy to see Riley go through the anxiety emotions and embarrassment, all of the decisions that she's making, where she's ousting her old friend, trying to fit in like too hard with these new people on the hockey team. And I felt myself just shuddering my eyes. I'm like, no, Riley, please don't do that. Oh God, I remember doing that too when I was your age. Oh God. So needless to say, Inside Out 2 is a vast improvement, in my opinion, for my watchability. It introduces way more complex ideas. I love the voice casting, especially of Maya Hawke as anxiety. She does a great job of being caring, but yet also just being scared, and like combining several different emotions of fearfulness, joy, and embarrassment. She kind of just combines it all, and that's what anxiety is. She is wonderful, and Amy Poehler, I think, actually steps it up in this movie. Her character of Joy in the first one was kind of one-dimensional, in my opinion, and that's kind of where that whole idea of the first Inside Out film for me was that the emotional ideas and the concept behind everything was very one-dimensional. It's way more complex, and Joy, the character of Joy in this movie, is more complex, where Joy feels sadness inside of herself at one point when she feels like all hope is lost. And there's also a big realization, and I'm not going to spoil what that is, but there's a big similarity that Joy has with anxiety towards the climax of the movie. And it's a beautiful realization to where everything just kind of comes crumbling down, and Riley kind of gets to make her own decision of who she is. That is a wonderful message to teach young kids, especially kids of the teenage age going into high school. This is going to be happening to all of you. And for those people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, this film, I feel is more for you, because you remember going through all of this shit and going like, yep, and all this anxiety stuff is still affecting me today. Inside Out 2 hit me on an emotional level in every single way. It is a vast improvement from the first one. This is one of the best movies that have been released in 2024 so far. Feel like now all of the good movies are coming out. So every new release, I'm like, oh my god, that's definitely in my top 10, if not at the very top of the list. Inside Out 2 is definitely towards the top. This one hit me on an emotional level. It'll hit you on an emotional level if you check it out, which I implore you to do. This is a very important movie, I feel. This is a great educational lesson for young kids and also for adults. We could all use a couple of hours to watch this journey of Riley and see her crumble and then build herself up with figuring out who she is. I'm going to give Inside Out 2 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. Good.
So guys, if you've seen Inside Out 2, what did you think about it? Which one do you like more? Do you like the original or the sequel? Whatever you thought, comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.